Yes. Okay. So.
We got a couple of minutes and then we'll start, okay? Let's see.
Gave up, man.
Sharon, are these invoices that you gave us?
I don't think they're thermostat.
The we approved tonight that aren't on the docket.
Did you check ours, please?
Becky did.
But you did not yourself?
No.
Because when I look at the building permit, there's some, I don't know it's gonna match up.
Well, we don't have to approve it tonight, then.
Because
Rather.
the first one that I see on the building permit, January the 4th, we did an inspection on Lake Creek Road, and it's not on the sheet. And then 223, he did that one. And he did, when he does 2 inspections on a property, do we collect from, when he does 2 inspections?
Depends on the permit, I think the
According
permit
to Johnson, the board, pretty much of that.
expected to have 2 inspections, it should be a higher permit
But
cost.
but I'm saying he should be on here twice if he does 2 inspections for a sheet, right? You shouldn't you have, for everyone that he's ordered, shouldn't you have a piece of paper on here showing where that was ordered and completed?
Okay, I'll ask.
Well, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't match up with the building permit report that she gives us. They don't, I'm sorry, we didn't.
I know, but I just got that after I read the document and everything. And I asked Becky.
I think we'll just leave that, I want to send that back to her, because I personally, I think you ought to have a bill that matches with each one that he has.
Okay.
And then there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There's 16 on here, and I don't think you have that many on there. Of course.
Yeah.
But on her report, the last one,
There's 11.
the last one she has on here is 9/22. So I mean, he's been in the inspection since September 22nd, so.
But he's got on here on October the 22nd.
Yeah, I saw that. So I just think
Okay,
that
well,
something needs to happen. Okay? Okay. 7 minutes.
That's right.
Penny, you're up.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, this is the November 1st Town Council meeting in Morgantown, Indiana. Sharon, you can show that all council members are present, and the agenda is just a standard agenda. And Leslie, if you're ready, we're ready.
My name is Alex Ray. I'm an engineer with Wessler, and I've got several things to go over, both on the drinking water project and the stormwater project. So I'll start with the drinking water project. There are 2 contract change orders for additional work that need to be approved, or for the council's approval tonight, as well as a payment application. So the first change order for the council is for ISI. This covers the addition of 2 isolation valves that were installed on Church and Mulberry Streets. These were associated with when the water mains were broke during the stormwater project, and the valves that they attempted to turn off those segments were not working. So this replaces those with 2 working valves. And that change order is in the amount of $9,380. So,
And that's on contract A?
contract B.
Oh, B. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
I see that now. Okay.
The amount, I mean, which of course, the changeover or changing the valves, but what they had to do also was do an additional hole to put line stops in order to change the valves, so that's the additional cost also, it wasn't just for the valves alone. Because there was no way of isolating that area to change out the valves, so they had to dig additional holes to put the line stops in to change the valves.
And the 9,380 is the total cost of the change.
Yeah, that's it, that's the total cost of it.
Everything.
And my email from Dylan, back here, we were gonna have around possibly between $50,000 and $70,000, right, left.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, so I mean, this would, we have money in the grant to cover these change orders.
Yes.
Yes. So is there a motion to do the change order increasing on the water grant for the valves, increasing the 9380?
That's the move.
Is there a second? I'll second it. Okay. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. Okay. Now what do you got?
So then there's a second change order. This is on contract A. This is also for ISI. This was for additional labor to do exploratory digging to locate water mains, which the locations were not known, so they had to do some extra, what they call exploratory digging to be able to locate those mains. And that is in the amount of $7,412.39. Also
And
for
it's 11, I'm sorry.
$7,412.39.
Oh, 7. That's on contract day. Please don't do a shimmer. Do a shimmer. You can settle up with her. Okay. So does anybody have any questions for him
On your export version, that is for the water project?
Yes, for the drinking water project. Before contract A, which was associated with the water tower.
looks like they
Not the
had,
water mains, which was for contract B.
looks like they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Looks like they had 15 that they had to find. Right? Is that what these are today? Where it says Pine Street, Hoosier Street, south of Bill,
Let me see.
Pine Street, north of Bill. Look, right, isn't that what these are?
Yes.
Yeah, Tulsa.
Yes.
Okay. And we'll find all those, so, won't be missing that one.
Yeah, I apologize, I'm primarily on the stormwater project, so I'm not as familiar.
No, I just want to look at it. Yeah, we need to. Okay, is there a motion to, where's that going? Okay, kids. Okay, is there a motion to increase, or, yeah, change order for contract A? Yeah, contract A, $7,412.39. Is there a motion to do?
I'm
Approve that.
approve the change order for contract A for $7,412.39.
Is there a second?
Phoenix, excuse me.
Is this pay application 2,
This is pay application number 6.
number 6?
Yes.
Okay,
This is for Phoenix
Okay.
Fabricators,
okay.
and it is in the
We
amount
got that in
of,
our packet.
it's for the period from September 17th through October 15th. And it's in the amount of $29,165.
Okay. Okay. And what percentage does this take us to on, this is Phoenix, right?
That wants to finish is 70,000, and the original sum was 490. So you're
80,000? Oh,
80% of the way there.
oh,
So,
80%. Okay, is there a motion then to approve pay request 6 for Phoenix?
yeah.
For Phoenix for $29,165. I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed, none, opposed. Okay. Now what do you got?
Just something that Dylan wanted me to bring up was, there was a letter from Tank Industry Consultants, which I think he had discussed with the town attorney, yes. And basically, Dylan has requested additional clarification from them, and there's basically no action that was necessary this evening. And so that was all of that. The last thing on the drinking water project is the town authorizing additional field services from Wessler in the amount of approximately $2,000, was what Dylan told me, for, I think this was for Adam to go out and, you and Adam to go out and
Right.
discuss about
Yeah,
locations.
we're going to go out and look at more valve locations and exercise that valve to see what, where there's something that needs to be placed, and additional valves, plus possibly replacing any old valves that's not working properly. It's supposed to be here, weather permitting, Wednesday and Thursday this week.
And that was how much?
Approximately $2,000.
I don't know how,
And-
I don't know how many hours was that, you know?
I don't remember the exact amount of
Yeah, I
hours,
think-
but he told me, Dylan told me that the funds are available to do that work. So basically, it just needs to be authorized by the council to do that.
And that's to Westwood.
Yes.
And we're just authorizing the work right now, or you guys want to do it based on time and bill it afterward?
Yes.
So you're just asking for authorization?
Yes.
To do the work.
We don't want to have a change order structure for a services contract with them in the same sense we do with contractors, so.
Correct.
Well, you can take action to authorize them to proceed with this investigation, along with, and that sort of under Jeff's supervision, and they can expect to pay for it. I think that's what we're saying.
Okay, so is there a motion to let them proceed with this, this work? Is there a second? I'll second. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, that one carried. So, now, on the water project, we have another one here, and it's from Westler, $12,575.81.
Yes, an invoice.
Uh-huh,
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
So we have we don't have the paperwork that goes with that, do we, Sharon?
Uh,
Or do we have it from Jeremy, or?
Jeremy sent me an email and said that, well, he sent it to me today, so I thought I got a copy of that.
You made us copies of the invoice, but do we have the, thing from, that we send in for
No,
today?
no, he didn't make me one of those. He just said that, Tank Industries and Westland's invoice is going to be paid by SRF. And,
Is this the same one that we've been talking about? The same one that, Lee, is this the same one we've been talking about?
Why? Not, I don't know. I think we're talking about two different things, I guess. We
I
have
think
to
we are
approve
talking
the,
about two different things.
we have to approve the amount. But if this is just about
I
the
think
source of
this-
payment,
I think the 12,000, yeah, the 12,575 is just Wesley's most recent invoice, and the other one, that Dylan was requesting additional information on, was a different matter.
Well, the total billing on this one from Tank Industries is $9,719.96. So where does that put us in our contract, do you know?
But I can,
No, that's okay, it should be on here somewhere. Oh, no, we pay you, don't we? Yeah, so those would all be in here with your pays. Hmm.
is there a problem if that, is that amount all to flow through to paying consultants,
That,
paying industry
well,
consultants?
do you have a copy? It's
Well, I thought I
12,000.
did, and now I'm trying to find it again.
It's the one that,
It's-
it's the one that the
it's-
margins cut off on the
Yeah,
back.
it's stapled behind the Wesley cover, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's right, because I think I've got, let me just try to find it.
There you go.
There it is.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So it has a total of 12,575.81 for Westler, and then 97. No, that includes.
yeah, I think
That
the,
includes.
it looks like the total includes,
So there,
the
it's
12,000 includes the 9,000 from Tank Industries.
It's 9,000 something to Tank Industries and
Yes.
6,000 something to Westwood. But it all goes through Westwood.
Yeah, I just, because I didn't get the right-hand side, so I didn't know.
So can you tell us this, the charges that we're discussing still and getting clarification on, were those after September 3rd? Because this is professional services from June 12th to September 3rd. On Tank Industry Consultants letter on the back, you see, they've got just 9719 for services through September 3rd. What I don't want is if in this 9,700 is this money that we're still trying to sort out, then I don't want to approve this. If it's not in there, and we don't have any issue with regard to work they did up to September 3rd, then they might as well get paid for
Right.
that.
Jack, do you know when they came in town? Was it October?
I may have an email here that'll help us. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whether you know or not, does that make
I don't
sense?
think- Yeah, and I don't think I can definitively
Yeah.
say yes or no.
Okay.
He posted, I think, posted that photo.
I would think that if
When the thing was.
Dylan wanted me to bring this invoice up, if he would, it wouldn't, one of the portions of it wouldn't be up in the air. So I'm guessing that that is separate, but I can't tell you definitively. So I can ask Dylan tomorrow.
Well, this covers the period from 9/1 to 9/30, and then their invoice is for work done from June to September. So I would say that that does not include, just from June 12th to September 3rd, I would say that doesn't include the payment, the time limit payment. It's got Jamie in here for 77 hours and for 11 hours.
I'm pretty certain Star will be paying in October. As far as everything on, as far as the flag and everything else.
Okay, here we go, it's at the bottom. Billings today are 17,824, contracts for 30. So we have remaining 12,175.15. It's on the very back page.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He's, Dylan emailed that to me the other day too.
Okay, so that would make it appear.
Okay, so the other item was because they were thinking there was gonna be an overage, right? And we,
Yeah.
But this goes with, I mean, this has 30,000. So the contract, original contract was 30,000. With paying this invoice will be paid 17.8. So we still have 12. Okay.
17.8, because
It's the very last page. Very last page at the bottom down there. That's what we paid to date and what the limit was of the contract, 30,000. Yeah, right down here.
yeah, at the very bottom, billing limits.
Billing limits.
Oh, I see, it's above it, it's not the bottom line. Gotcha.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah,
No,
it's that
no,
last section, billing limits.
Due date, limit 30, remaining 12, and you're saying we're paying 97 of the 12 remaining?
No,
paying
no,
12,
it's in
570 something, right?
the nine plus what the 9 is included in the 17.
Oh, the 17?
Yeah.
Current plus prior.
Got it.
So we should be.
Okay, so we've got enough of a, we're not, that much is not in dispute.
Yeah.
So, okay.
So if we're looking at 12, 575, 81
Yep.
Okay.
to Westbrook.
97 of which goes on to bank interest.
Yes. Westler's portion of that. Okay, so I'll make a motion that we pay the claim to Westler for $12,575.81, which includes an invoice from TIC for $97.19.26.
I'll second.
Okay, is for discussion, any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Now, we don't have anything to sign on that one yet, right, Sharon?
No.
But I think you approved it, so yeah, you can take care of that one when it comes in, so we get that paid. Okay, now this summary,
That came from Steve Rock
that
today.
came from Brock today. Okay.
Yeah, and, because he sent me the number 32.
31 is the last one we had from Westler for 2709. So you have one that we approved today for this number 32?
Yes, he sent me that today.
Okay. And it's already in our stack, right, what we've done?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we're done. Anybody have any questions on the water? If we look at this, we have, let's see here, what do we have remaining? Do we have 405,000 remaining on SRF? Is that what that's showing? I think that is. Plus the claim we paid today. Prior day is claim 32. So we have 405,000 left on the SRF. Is that what you guys see? Okay. Okay, how about stormwater?
All right, well, stormwater, just an update on their progress. We had our first progress meeting this past week. Reed and Sons has completed all of the storm sewer work on Pine and Sycamore Street. They still have, and some of the sidewalks, they still have paving left to be done. And they've also completed most of the storm sewer on Park and Church Street. They're one ring of pipe from being done with all the pipe on that street. Then once they finish there, they'll be moving on to Mulberry and then the south side of Church Street once they're done there. And they're looking to be done with all of the storm sewer work sometime probably the next month and a half. And then obviously they're going to try and get some of the paving done before it gets too cold to pave. But some of it's going to have to wait until the spring. That's why we put in a longer final completion date for the spring. So that's where they're at. And we have their second pay claim in the amount of $142,800. $831.65 for approval.
Okay. And we have a copy of that in our stuff from Sharon, and it's, the front page of it's email from Jeremy. It's just,
Yes, it's to read.
that's an email from Jeremy. $142,831.
65.
They think they'll be done, if everything goes right, with the digging and getting the sewer, the wastewater in by the end of the year.
Yeah, the storm sewers.
Yes, that's the goal, yeah.
So this takes us then, we still have $612,109 left on their contract, so, okay. So a motion to pay $142,831.65. I'll make a motion. Okay, to Lisa. Is there a second? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, the motion
I
carries.
have a question here, I was just looking at this. He sent me this claim voucher for overpay, what they just approved. He made it for
Oh, that's all it was for. Who said, who did that? Steve?
No, not Steve, Ken.
He made what now?
He made the claim voucher. Did you get a copy of the claim voucher? Because I think I got it.
Or the claim voucher is not the same thing.
This is what, the money that we get though.
I didn't think it- I thought I
No,
saw it.
this claim voucher says it's for two bills from, you mean the 14,035?
No, I'm talking
Yeah,
about
that's
the
what I
one,
had.
I'm talking about the 150. It's attached to what you just approved, the pay application number 2. For reading this out. For 142,831.
Well, that's not the same thing that's on the application and certification for payment. I know, but the application and certification for payment is one
And
amount.
he's got, and this is what Jeremy made. And this is his email. And so I think that they should have asked, they should have
Does that include, does the,
retainage.
the claim on the voucher includes the retainage, right?
Mhm.
So
So
we
should they have voted to approve the whole claim?
No, we'll vote to release the retainage at the end.
Yeah, but,
Yeah, they're
but,
continuing to hold retainage, right?
Yeah.
but you're not authorizing retainage to be paid to the contractor.
No.
You're just authorizing the grant money to be paid toward that obligation, but
Yeah.
they'll split it and direct some of it
Yeah.
retainage and pay this.
Okay.
They'll do that.
I mean, they're
So,
telling.
yeah, that's a good question, but that gets taken care of. We're not authorizing payment of the full amount to the contractor right now.
Okay.
We're
No.
talking about
Okay, well, I was
committing those
wondering-
grant funds to it.
See, if you look at his thing here, Sharon, it starts out at the very top, current application, 158,701.83. That's the amount of that back
Yeah.
balance, right? So then here's your retainage, the 10% coming out.
Okay.
And then
These
that
are a
is-
little bit different.
And there's the
because-
142 that's gonna be paid.
Yeah.
It's stormwater, because this is all over money.
But I think that's okay.
Yeah, according to the number, we're okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, you have anything else?
That's all I have.
Well, now you can,
Now, there should be one more.
yeah, it's coming, it's coming.
Okay,
Okay, you're talking about this one, right?
Yeah, 14.
Okay, the 142,830, oh, you're talking about the one for
14,
14,838?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's not through him though.
No.
Yeah,
Well, it says they're Dill.
it's Wessler, yeah,
Yeah.
Wessler. But has, actually it came from Emily, but has Jeremy seen this?
Yes, he has.
Jeremy has seen this?
Yes,
one?
because you should have, did you have an email stapled to the front of all the information. And he's already sent a claim voucher for it, and I've got it. I just need,
Are you talking about that email dated November 3rd today?
no, October the 26th. It's for Westler's 2 outstanding, invoices for $62.50 and $77.85.86.
I don't think I have.
There's the thing, you have that?
I have that, but I don't
Oh.
have the email. Don't we have to have more than this to go with it? Or is this all we need?
What, the email's behind it, is it?
Oh, is it? I don't know. No, that's given the breakdown on
The
the,
very first page behind it.
oh, okay, I see
Okay.
that. For 2 Westler invoices. Okay, gotcha. Do you have a original of these to sign?
Yes.
This is my record?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we spend, or that we pay the $14,035.86 to Westler Engineering on the storm grant. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. Okay, now let me ask you this, Sharon. How is our, we don't have an invoice from Kenna this month?
No, I asked him about that.
Okay, so what
When I
about,
talked to him last week,
now, our match,
yes,
none of this comes out of our match?
No.
Okay.
none of
Okay. Okay.
This comes out of the, overruns.
Okay. Do you guys have any questions for the gentleman before he gets back to the Okay.
I'll ask you the same thing everybody else does. But on the water tower, it should have water in it.
It's forte.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'll give it over to the other project.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the other guy.
The best answer would be to say, well, it's already in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then wait.
Yeah, it's not leaking, so I don't know if anything in there good.
I don't know, I know they're still finishing up some work.
Yeah, this is plumbing. They've got to do some switch over on chemicals. Chemical feed.
They're still working on one of the wells.
Yeah, the valve, yeah, that's a valve, and those guys.
Well, so far, no more.
It's good.
Empty containers never look too much.
Okay, if you two want, you're gonna get yourself somewhere, I think we will go ahead and we'll hear from you on your candidate here. Is that okay? We'll move him up and that way you can leave if you like and get back home.
I'm sure he wants to stay.
Yeah, he might want to, you never know.
We have with us tonight is Derek Roof. He's our latest candidate for reserve. Derek has expressed quite an interest in the police department, and he has spent some of his time, he's ridden with Officer Schwank before, and I think that this has been back in May and June. His interest has been eager and waiting, and so as soon as we got him into a pre-basic, we found one close, a pre-basic class. He went, he attended the Johnson County 4-year pre-basic, and he was working up in Indy when he first put an application in, but since then he's been employment in Bloomington at the Hilton Garden Inn. He's a young guy, with the Army Reserve, and he's very respectful, and I've had that chance to have a one-on-one conversation with him. I believe that he would be a very good reserve for us here in Morgantown.
You, 40-hour pre-basic, so he's had all the off-site training he'll need, or will he need to go somewhere else?
No, not all of the off-site training. Actually, we had, I think Morgantown is getting ready to do a reserve class.
Okay.
And I'm going to talk, and he'll have to enroll in a reserve class. And so will Ashley. She's not been through a reserve school. but I'd like for them to, go through a reserve school before, everything's complete. But he has the pretty basic qualifications, and he went through taser training up there at the same time. At the same time Ashley did.
I thought we got to do that.
But you were tased, right?
Absolutely.
He was tased. Ashley was tased. And so they both have completed the taser training in Johnson County. So with your blessing, I would like to bring him on as a reserve for the Morgantown Police Department.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for Derek?
I live on the east side of Bloomington.
Okay. Why Morgantown?
I kind of like the small town environment. Bloomington themselves don't actually have the reserve
Oh, they
program.
don't?
The next closest one would be Martinsville. I've had my application in there for a while.
Okay.
Put my application in with Jeff, and about a month later, got a letter.
Good.
Are you related to Ashley as well?
He used to be.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not voting for that.
That's not actually.
No, not that.
Oh, good. Okay. Any other questions for Mr. Ruth?
Roof. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Derek. Any more questions for Derek? Okay. Is there a motion to approve him coming on as reserve?
I'll make a motion. Approve Derek. Ruth, come on, let's reserve.
Okay. Is there a second? Okay. Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Very good. There's no opposition there at all. So, you're going to do 16 hours a month, right? You're going to ride around with these guys for, what is that, Jeff, about 3 months?
Well, it depends on how many hours we can get
Yeah.
in. But yeah, about 3 months before they turn them loose and go on their own for a while. And we're going to try to get them on day shift and have them be by themselves on day shift. It's not really busy. But about 3 months, and that usually gives us a pretty good idea of what they can do.
Good deal.
I understand. Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you around.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay. Well, if you'd like to leave, you can, or if you want to stay around.
All right, I got a 1-year-old that's
I was going to
probably
say,
missing me.
or I saw
Are we
that.
gonna swear him in tonight? Are we gonna swear him in tonight or not?
That's up
If
to
you
you.
want to, did you ready
Yes,
yourself?
uh,
Okay,
There we go.
good. Woo, let's get him in.
Where you want me?
That's fine.
Okay.
We want it all on Derek. Okay, you want to raise your... I, Derek Roof,
I, Derek Roof,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and diligently
and diligently
discharge the duties of the office
discharge the duties of the office
of Morgantown Police Officer,
of a Morgantown police officer,
according to the law and the best of my ability.
according to the law and the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right.
You being out tomorrow?
Possibly.
You too.
Decker to have you working this
Okay. We have minutes from October 3rd, 19th, and 26th. Did everybody have a chance to read the minutes? Okay, if there's any additions or corrections? No additions or corrections, and then stand approved as submitted. Okay. Sharon, financials, what do you want to start with?
The revenue report. On the general fund, under reimbursements, that amount is reimbursement or payment to the town from Jeff Connors for the gun, reimbursement of the gun. And then, I broke these, the Pekin money that we got back that we talked about last month. I reimbursed MDH and water and wastewater. And other than that, that's, do you have any questions?
We had no new water customers last week.
No, we didn't. We've got several already this month. Okay, you want to go to the appropriation report? Do you have any questions?
Pretty honestly. So we have, this is through October month end, right? Okay, anybody have any questions on the appropriation report? Okey dokey.
Okay, and then you have the copier of the fund report.
Okay, let's go back. So you got the grant thing.
Yes.
Yeah, and then on here, I'm not sure it's a zero down. Anybody have any comments or questions on the fund report?
Nope.
Now, on the SRF thing on the back, where you have current balance,
Yes.
does that include the retainage or not?
No, I'm working on going back over that and matching it, but
Because it doesn't balance, right? Right now, it doesn't balance to what you gave us.
no, I'm just going back through it. And, but the retainage would not be in this because we haven't paid retainage. These are only the ones that we paid. And that were approved at the meeting.
Okay. So according to yours, we have 344,900 left in the SRF to spend. Okay. Okay, now we have payroll. Is there a motion? Anybody have any questions on payroll? Is there a motion to accept pay file?
And then the motion that we accept the pay file as presented.
Okay. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, so we have claims. And let's see here, claims, let's see here. Okay, anybody have any questions on that? Is there a motion to approve the those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Jeff, are you reviewing your gasoline bills now?
I haven't seen one for a while.
Because this month, again, it's almost $900.
Yeah, I need to see the bills. I haven't.
Remember, we talked about that, and he's supposed to
Yeah, I
start
know
seeing
it,
those
I know
bills.
it, and I thought, okay, I'll look.
But you had 2 invoices,
Do we double up again on this month on the invoice?
$439.60 on October 4th, and $453 on October 26th. Yeah, so I just want to make sure.
I've not seen either one of those bills.
Okay. Well, we talked about it, I want to make sure you start seeing them. And then you two are gonna work it out to where that's gonna be separated out from his, he'll have a separate line for gas next year. Okay. Now, adjustments, DPW, what you got, honey? Oh, wait a minute, we have 2 more here. Sharon made this to approve. Gym City Tire, and this is for tires for the police department and tires for DPW, right?
Right.
Okay, so, let's see here. Looks like, will we get the tax back? Yeah.
Well, yeah, she
Yeah.
said that when we put the application, the vendor application in her system, then would automatically deduct the tax.
Okay,
So she said just on that quote, just mark the tax out.
So, police cars, $1,095.40, and DPW, $73.52.
Now, just so that reflects on DPW, I had asked, so that I'm not just getting like $1,400+. There's already said, you guys had already approved $700-some-odd. That is that.
Oh, this is the same one?
Yes.
Same one we talked about?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
I'm glad
that
you
is,
clarified that.
yeah, I'm not asking for another $700-some-odd. I think last week was before the next. That is that.
Yes, indeed, okay. So we need to approve the tire, now Sharon, what will that come out of? Will that come out of repair and maintenance?
Tires will come out of the garage and motor.
Garage and motor? Okay. Got plenty in there, so need a motion to pay to buy the tires, $1,095.40 on police, $703.52 on DPW. I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, any questions, any discussion?
That's Gin City Tire?
Gym City Tire, and it's, looks like you're getting 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 police tires and 4 UPW. Okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay. Anything else? Oh, now we're ready for you, Mr. Downey. Yeah, that's all Shannon.
Oh,
We're ready for you, Mr. Downey, DPW.
okay, with everything going on, I haven't got a locked in price yet on the metering of the gas yet, so that's not left my mind, it's just, I haven't had time, so that's what I'm working on there. We have 26 work orders, and of course, working, pretty much keeping us busy with the Miller pipeline just left last week, so they're out of town now. Which apparently there's been some complaints on again, it's similar to like when they done the water fixes, or the patching on the water project. Miller pipeline has divvied out some of the crosses, and they're supposed to, that's another pipeline deal, but that company should come in and fill those spots in the road. Still dealing with, again, the water project, which is isolated to just the tower area right now. The storm sewer project is all over town, as was stated by Alex. We have 2 more, the water shutoffs, again, have been an issue of, up here lately, which I don't know if everyone there was like 3 services coming out of a fire hydrant feed, and they went one way, supplying to the pit, and then the service lines crossed over again. 3 of them were supplying back to the east, and then we just discovered another one yesterday, the one that does the graveyard, it's up there too. It was in that conglomeration of mess, but it wasn't hit at that time, it was hit the other day, that we took care of that. And then another reason is, we've had some lowering of some mains, and that's going to be another question on if we can get a valve stop in, or I'm sorry, a line stop, and to lower 2 more mains. We discovered another main, fortunately it was not hit, that runs through that front yard over there where Roger Sheeson used to live. That runs over and feeds Highland. It's not on the map, and nobody really knew about it. And anyway, we're going to have to lower that one, plus the main on that runs down Park in that particular area, which is right beside the fire hydrant there, which is no fire hydrant. So while they're doing that, we have a fire hydrant in stock, and I'm going to go ahead and have them replace that old fire hydrant with a new style fire hydrant. So that's going to be not out of the way or anything, because it's right there, and they actually are going to replace that valve in or the line to the hydrant, the existing hydrant. So they're just going to stick it in there in that place. And other than that, I don't know anything.
So far, you're happy with ISI and agree as far as the job?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Walter, you have a question from DPW? No. Dixie?
No.
Ann? No question for Jen? No question for DPW?
No, I'm fine.
Okay. You've got a lot going on your street, so, yeah. Okay.
You don't have a street.
Yes, sir, Town Marshal, you're up.
We had a busy October. We ended up with 73 total calls, and 61 of them in town, and 12 of them out of town. And we ended up out of the month arresting 10 people, and 4 of those were on warrants, and 6 of them were new charges. We had a special detail with the state police and the internet crimes against children on Hoosier Street. Took pretty much one morning. We conducted a special patrol that involved Brown County Sheriff's Department and the state police. That was on Friday night, October 28th, and from 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. And in fact, the sheriff himself, Brown County, was involved in that. Trick or treat night, we had 4 officers out from 6 until 10, and investigated 1 crash. But there were no other Halloween-related type issues. And if you have any questions about the month's activity, then before I move on to the rest of the agenda.
Okay, I just wanted to recap on your month activities. Let's see here, it looks like you had 2 warnings. Connors had 2 arrests, no citations, no ordinance, no statutes, no warnings, right?
Right.
Tuesdays. Okay, Swank had 8 arrests, 4 citations, no ordinance, 4 state statutes, and 23 warnings, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, then your reserves had 7 warnings.
Correct.
And let the record also show that all of your reserves worked their 16 hours plus.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, very good. That's not always the case, so that's wonderful.
Oh, I'm happy about that.
Yeah. That's what they said they'd do, and that's what they did. Okay, anybody have any questions on this report? Okay. Now on your little list. Now.
On my list, I would like for the attorney to review the golf cart ordinance, because out of working that crash, there were several questions came up regarding the ordinance, and this particular golf cart was pulling a trailer, and it had passengers on it. And so I think that in reviewing that ordinance, there were some questions came up about that. And as far as the insurance, when we were conducting the investigation, I asked about the insurance and the requirements on that, and Becky told me that not when people make application for the sticker, what am I talking about? The permit. When they make application for the permit, some bring them in, some don't, and some say they'll bring them in later. And I think that we probably should, when we make application, we might change that application to where we have a checklist as to whether it's a golf cart, whether it's an off-road vehicle, whether they have insurance, and that insurance should indicate which vehicle that it's actually insuring. Because the insurance will probably have a VIN number on there. We can check and verify the VIN. We can also verify the number of seats that the vehicle has and how many passengers it can carry. And also, we've been asked to, the lawn tractors and riding lawnmowers are pulling carts. We've had to address that with people and say that you're not allowed to do that, and you can't pull passengers with that. I think in looking at the ordinance, the spirit of the ordinance is actually to accommodate people with golf carts and off-road vehicles to get to and from, a location with a more convenient type vehicle rather than the car. And so I believe that in the spirit of the ordinance, we need to clearly identify whether or not a trailer with passengers would be permitted for that vehicle to operate. Because under our permit, we're actually permitting them to operate it with whatever they pull. So I think we could probably discuss that, look at that, review it, see what other people are doing, and clear that up a little bit. Also in reviewing that ordinance, by the definition of a recreational vehicle or an off-road vehicle, we do not allow, I've been told we don't allow, four-wheelers to obtain a permit. By the definition that's in our ordinance, we're defining a four-wheeler. We can clearly define a four-wheeler. It's under 65 inches in width, it's under 2,000 pounds, and it also has, it's also capable of carrying passengers. So I think that we need to clear that up and clearly state that it is a four-wheeler, and by whatever other definition there is that DNR deems a four-wheeler separate from an RTD, then we should include that in our ordinance.
You want to get with Lee on that?
I will.
Doesn't the county have a no hayride ordinance on county roads?
I
They
They-
used
yeah.
to, I know.
They have, I think they have an ordinance, no hayrides on county roads, so that might be one you want to kind of look at.
And yes, I will. And not only that, another thing that we want to look at maybe with the county, because don't they have an ordinance on off-road vehicles and maybe not golf carts, but off-road vehicles as well?
I believe they do.
I think so.
And here's the question I have, because our ordinance allows, we give a permit for the people to operate in the limits of Morgantown. Okay? And it was called to my attention that we might have someone coming from the county and driving into Morgantown. So and they've got a permit in the county. So is it something that we want to look at this same time? And if they have a permit in the county, are we going to ask them to get a permit for Morgantown as well and have that double permit? Or will we recognize the county's permit for those and then and allow them to come in to Morgantown, to the gas station, the grocery store, or to an event because they already have a permit with the county? Does that make sense? So those are about three things.
And I think the thing to understand sort of at the threshold level of all this, these vehicles aren't permitted on the road unless a local jurisdiction affirmatively grants permission in the form of an ordinance like this. If we didn't have anything, if we had a town code that was silent on golf carts and recreational off-road vehicles, they would be permitted under state statute.
Correct.
And so it really is not a matter of us trying to figure out what people can do and then choke it down and limit it. It really is the case here where Morgantown's starting out with the rule being you can't do it at all, and we're figuring out a creative way to give it to you. So with that, it needs to be done in a way that makes it as safe and consistent and practical too. I mean, this is a kind of community where they probably do kind of make sense. New Whiteland is, look at this, because UPS, does UPS come down here for deliveries? They want to set up these pods. You heard this one?
No, I haven't heard it.
They set up a pod and their truck comes in and dumps all the packages in the big container, and then they have a gator that drives around town and makes deliveries locally, which is convenient for them because they're not driving a truck, they're just zipping around. But all this comes into play, and I really don't think they're allowed to do it unless there's a local ordinance in the jurisdiction where they're wanting to set it up and gives them the permission. And New Whiteland's not such a good town for these things because they're narrow streets. It's pretty densely populated. It's pretty dense single-family development. You know, you've got 31 of some pretty busy perpendicular streets running through the county, and I don't think there's just enough room. It's not spread out enough for them to be as practical or necessary or safe as they would be down here. So it is a community-sensitive decision, I think. And I think UPS is trying this all over the country. And most places are saying fine, but because of the conversation we had down here, when they brought it up there, I thought, now hang on a second. You can't just have the town council say, we don't care, and then start driving this gator around because state statute says you can't.
Right.
I don't know why wouldn't they just get like a small pickup truck? Instead of fighting all this and trying to figure it out, or get a Prius, or some compact car hatchback or something that's road ready. And
Amazon does it with a drone.
yeah, right. Anyway, sorry.
But no, and I agree with that, and the fact that it's just that I don't want to be a pain on these things, but when it comes up, I think that all of this was for a reason. We were lucky that no one was seriously injured in this particular incident. We're mixing, golf carts with trailers and golf carts and people, pedestrian traffic, a large amount of pedestrian traffic. In fact, we even talked about, we're kind of putting our thinking caps on and figuring out maybe some sort of almost like a parade route for Halloween night, to work out. So when they can go from one side to the other.
Oh, I hope your phone's on, or I'm really going to be frightened.
But anyway, there's been some discussion about that. Just protect the kids on the street. We're dealing with kids on the street that are under the age of 10 years old, and one night a year. And let's imagine. We can only imagine that if the weather's bad or a storm rolls in. Let's just say that the October we had was a perfect time. All of a sudden, a rainstorm rolls in. Everybody starts rushing and running, and then it's really chaos. And there's a lot of people. There were a lot of people around that particular area at the time. There's a lot of congestion, and I think we just need to look back at that. And when we're making this accident report out, okay, well, this starts asking these questions. And so I think it's a time that at least we look at it, so that you can't predict that.
Right.
But you can
Go
react
over
to it.
on it, yeah.
Well,
That's
and
good.
you might look too, a lot of towns have gone to that, where they block off one street, trick or treating is only allowed on one street. It's a trunk or treat, but it's,
Yeah.
and it's.
Those things that work, I don't know they've got a
I think
limit
Martinsville
to those
did.
trunk or treat, but that is kind of a neat idea.
Martinsville did.
Well, we've thought about, we're just kicking around, thought about maybe Elm Street and Mulberry Street. Because we've got churches, we've got a lot of activity in that particular area, and then we could cross over, we don't mind coming out and helping out. We had 4 officers here that night. We could get the traffic across Washington Street in a couple of areas. And, even down to the railroad tracks, we can cross traffic there, or we can cross traffic down across street there by the police department. And so with that being said, we can put some signs out there and slow the traffic down and say, heavy pedestrian traffic, cross traffic tonight. But then again, I guess that brings up another question that's not on my agenda. We don't have any pedestrian crosswalk signs or any pedestrian crossing signs at the intersection. We've got sidewalks. We've got pedestrians across there, so I don't know, that's another issue for another day, I suppose. But it did come to my mind the other day when the stop sign was not there.
I don't know, the state used to have them they used to be pointing forward, but that's, well, yeah, you guys can check into that. Okay, number 4 on your list.
Okay, number 4, we've been fighting an overheating problem with the 2009 patrol car that we have all summer long, and it's odd. When the air conditioner's on and both fans are kicked on, it seems to be okay. It's at idle when the fans are off, and I've had Pro look at it. We put a new thermostat in. I think we even put a new water pump in that car. And then that didn't fix it. So we took it to Whitaker's, and we had them look at it, and I can't remember what we did there, something minor. And that didn't fix it, so we took it to Hobson back. We've been fighting this thing for 3 months. And we took it to Hobson back in August, I believe, the first time. And so they looked at it and thought they had it, said it was an air bubble, and thought they had it fixed. And happened again. So anyway, I had Jeff take it to Hobson, and I told him, I said, fix it, don't want it back. Tell me what's wrong with it. You guys need to figure this out. And we Googled, we did all sorts of things to try to track this down. Well, come to find out, it's got a couple of head gaskets that are leaking, both banks. And those are about, I think the estimate on the head gasket repair is somewhere around $2,338. Well, when they had it in there, they looked at and they said stabilizer bar bushings that they need to be replaced, and that's not that much, $264.34, which is not a big deal, but yet it didn't happen to fix them. The brake pads and rotors, we can take care of that locally. That's something that we can buy at Parts Napa, and we can have done at Pro, or we can have done at Whitaker's, and we'll probably save 10 to 15% on total cost. And I want to see them myself before we allow them to do that. And then it had a hub that the bearing was out of. Well, that's something you can't mess with. If it locks up out on the street, then you've got a tow bill or you've got something and you can't, get it wrong. So I told them to go ahead and fix the hub, but hold off on everything else that I wanted to bring it before the council. But it's my intentions not to fix these things if we can nurse this thing for another 2 or 3 months or whatever it takes to, before we are in a position to purchase a new vehicle. So I wanted to present that to you folks tonight to let you know that there's still potentially about a $3,000 there for that car to bring it to where it needs to be. We did put 2 new tires on that car about a month or so, two months ago, but it needs 2 more. 2 of those tires, and that's for that. But they're the same size as the reserve car. They're the same size as the 2011 Chevy. So we can actually take if we have to take the newer tires off and put the worst tires on, if we get ready to sell it, we can do that, because my intention with these tires are not to go out here and put brand new tires on this car right now. That's not my intention. My intention is to replace the worst ones, get 3,000 to 6,000 miles or whatever we can, where we get out of the other ones, but to have them, so if it comes a big snow, we're close at hand to be able to put new tires on, and it's supposed to be, who knows about predictions, we're supposed to have that. But anyway, we will have our tires, but those tires aren't going on the car unless we absolutely need them. And we will store them at the department. I don't like these other places storing our tires. We will have control of that.
Well, we supposedly had several tires stored at Whitaker's.
We had 3.
3, and you've used those?
We had 3. We had 2 tires for Connor's car, and we had 1 tire for the Explorer, because it was an odd size, and they thought, well, if something happens to one of them, we don't have another one. So, but with Jim City, we've got a vendor that's right there, and we can get those tires quick if we need them.
But these were paid for and stored, right?
Right, these were stored. So I went over and I had a conversation with him, and where are the tires that the police department has? And he showed me the tires that he had. He says, those are your tires. and they were in a stack with other tires. And so, once again, I'm not a fan of doing that. And, but anyway, we found a location to store them. Town location, and we have them stored under our control this time. I don't know, I just want to present this information to the board so that you're aware. Bad news or whatever it is. But anyway, and then the Gem City tire quote, like I said, we did that, and I appreciate that, and we have those tires. In preparing for next year, I did obtain some vehicles, and obtained those from Ford and one from, I thought Community Chrysler could give us a quote on Ram trucks and give us a fleet bid that they come in about $10,000 about for everybody else. Obviously, they're not quoting off a fleet bid sheet or a municipality. So I went to Matlock, and I did get we looked at trucks because they're more durable, they're heavier built, they have better resale value. If we had a 2007 truck and a 2009 truck right now, we'd be looking at a little bit of recovery from what our purchase would be. So that's the reason that I went ahead and had those quoted. The Ford truck was high, came in at over $30,000. Not really interested in that. The Explorer, in fact, when I was at the Sheriff's Department, the Explorers were quoted around $30,000. So those have come, they've not increased in price, so they've come down in price a little bit because now they're not such a new thing in their production. I'm sure that it's more about production than it is anything. The Ram truck, I did talk with Nashville Police Department, Ben Seastrom. They're very pleased with their Ram trucks. Did not quote that with some of the storage in the bed that they got at Nashville because, number one, I'm a little concerned about the security of it because it has plastic lids on it. And the other thing is it's about a $1,200 option. So even that truck without that convenience is still a little higher than the Ford Explorer. And what we said in the budget, that Explorer would come in about $1,500 per that annual, what we set aside for the budget. So we're under what we set in the budget for either the Ram truck or that at whatever point in time we decide to do this.
So you're 26, 434, 14.
Yes.
With an Explorer, and that's a vehicle like yours.
It's a vehicle like mine. Now I've had discussion with both the guys, and as far as the equipment that would come out of probably the one that needs the most repair, will fit in there. So there's some of that, we wouldn't have that expense, to buy a new surround for the radio equipment. I think the radio's good. I think everything else is good. Probably what we would need to be looking at in additional expense on that vehicle would be I want to put a bar light on top. I want to put a light on top. The one that I have has a light in the back. When you look in the mirror, it blocks your view. I always think there's someone behind me, and you can't clearly see back there. The front lights that are up on the windshield, they bang against the windshield and they're not secure. And I think that for the visibility, the best thing for protection of the vehicle and everyone else is the bar light on top. And then a storage box in the back that is an extra lock for rifles and shotguns and accessories that we want to maintain control of. I would like to see us put a guard on the front, the push bar, because even in a car deer, like the one on the 15th, even in a car deer crash, that will help keep a lot of that damage to the exterior of the vehicle. We worked at one of the Explorers in Brown County, hit a deer, and I think it was like they had to replace the steering column, because all of the electronics ran through the steering column. And if it was ever compressed or in a crash, had to replace the whole column, it was about a $3,500 additional expense. A car-to-air crash was over $8,000, a third of the cost of
Do you kind of have an idea of how much more we're talking about? To outfit it?
Probably, I'm gonna say, if all the radios and all that other equipment will go in there, I'm gonna say probably between 25 and under $3,000, I would think. I would think that that would cover the push bar, would cover the light on the top and the box in the back.
So 30,000 would get us pretty close.
30,000 might be the whole package, yes.
Okay. How long does it take to get them?
I think about 2 months out is what they're looking at.
Okay.
Okay.
And the bids, better than the quotes that I've got are good for about 2 months, I think. So, if we want to.
Probably good until at least the end of the year.
Yeah, and if you want me to bring it back to the next meeting with a more detail, as what the bar light would cost, and what I just wanted to make sure that everyone knew we're looking at more than just one vehicle. So if I can get vehicle specific, I can start getting a little more detailed quotes on a light bar for the top and the push bar and a box for the guys.
Well, he's definitely on the right route, because like the program I discussed with you many times before, is that the truck version, regardless of Explorer or truck, and if you take care of it, and 70,000, 80,000 miles wholesale retail versus what you could originally buy one new on a government contract, you have really shrunk what you're moving up to new vehicles. Because that's where 70,000, 80,000 miles is the magic number that they definitely need to be traded, and if they're taken care of, then yeah, your X number is going to be a lot less on a government purchase.
Okay.
I'm okay with the Explorer. Everybody else is okay with it.
What are the guys, well, we'll do it next month as
Well,
far
no,
as,
I mean-
I'd like to see the actual total.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If
Yeah.
we're all in
Yeah.
agreement on Explorer.
Yeah, if we narrow it down to Explorer.
Is that what you guys want?
Yeah, I think that that's
the best?
it's the best vehicle for what our purpose is here.
Yeah.
A truck would be probably better resale value in 5 or 6 years, but it doesn't necessarily fit our needs or the purpose like the Explorer would.
Sharon, what do we still own his SUV, right? We're making payments on it.
800.
How much we have left, do you know? No, I don't, but I can find out. No, that's, okay, I just wanted.
I think it pays off this year.
Oh,
then
3 years.
It's 3 years.
It was a shorter lease.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
so
was
it'll be
three.
good.
Yeah.
I think it pays off this year, like maybe in October. It's $814.69 a month.
That you mean it pays off in 2017?
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's how we go on car rides, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But no, I think
And we have-
that would need to figure out exactly what we're looking at, because, we all know that there's vehicles that say, well, they start costing you money, they start costing you money. There's no way out of it.
Well, and once again, we work, we tried to figure this out on this overheating thing, and when, you had three shops look at it, and we're still scratching our head, and then when they actually put the compression test on it and found the leak, it was not a big, because they use plastic gaskets, and they only have a certain life on them.
Well, looking at the vehicles that we do have, looks like you've got about 41,000 miles on yours. Swank has about 83,000 on his. So, and then the other one has 134.
Well, yeah, we have a reserve car that has about 150,000
Yeah.
miles on it, but actually it's not driven on a regular basis, so it's in fair shape, but it's not in the best shape, but it's.
There's really no reason to have more than one reserve car, right?
No, I would not, I don't think it's good to carry the insurance on it, and because you still have the repair, you still have the liability of it being a safe vehicle. So I would only think that one reserve car would be all we ever need.
Okay, y'all in?
Amen?
Okay. We have no new business or old business. Any public comments? This meeting's adjourned. Thank you.
All right.